So this is a Gateway 2000. And a lot of you people probably, yeah. And a lot of you people probably haven't even heard of this company because it has been defunct since probably just before you were born. But for me, it is a mainstay of my childhood. I'm Hobbs and you're watching HMODS. Oh, wait. Been on an 80s kick lately. Wait.
Oh yeah! You gotta get sweaty! You gotta get sweaty in here! It's time to get sweaty!
This video is brought to you by CyberGameway, with an emphasis on exposing streamers of all types, as well as exploring business relationships with partnered websites and service providers. CyberGameway is the place you want to be for streaming gamers who want that sub bump. To apply for membership or sponsorship, head over to cybergameway.com.
So, Gateway 2000 was around in the 90s, and my father was a computer products tester for a local newspaper, so we got one of these babies for free. And yeah.
Gateway still exists.
No
It's
way!
been resurrected. You can get them at Walmart.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm fucking wrong about everything I just said. Well, okay, they went defunct, and now they are apparently resurrected thanks to something. Thanks to who the hell would do that? Bill Graham. Anyway, Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham bought Gateway. Can you imagine that? I don't know what people are using for computers these days, but I want my Gateway. I want my Gateway and no abortions. Anyway, so this computer is really old. This is nuts. Okay, so it has an AMD 800 Athlon in it, which is old. So this is not even DDR2, this is DDR1. Or DDR, actually, it was just DDR back in the day. So all the guts are in this thing. And matter of fact, I would wager to guess that it would still work if we got it to work. If there's anything wrong with it, I would wager to guess that it's the power supply or maybe a capacitor. The guy who I got this from gave us a lot of these things. They're old. He had a friend, or has a friend, that likes Dell, but he also had this baby. I've actually got another bigger case over there. And all the ones that he brought us are completely full of their guts. So if we wanted to, we could probably get all of them to work. And I'm reasonably sure if we replaced the power supply in this thing, it would work. But why would you want to? Anyway, so the whole reason this thing is sitting on our table here today is because of Noah fucking Katz.
Oh, and there's the re-roll.
If you don't know who Noah Katz is, he's an idiot. He's an idiot who's currently paying for his crimes. Yeah. Artesian builds fucked up royally. And there's a bunch of people, including myself, who want to rectify that. So this case is for a fellow streamer. His name is Protege. I've been pronouncing it Protege and he hasn't corrected me at all. So this, while it looks super old, and it is super old, is not going to be when we're done with it. So this being a gateway, I have dubbed it Project Portal. And when we're done with it, you'll see why. Actually, all the ideas that I have for this thing are going to be super cool. And so the idea behind this is Protege's colors are like black and purple. So it really actually works with what we're doing for it, because naming it Portal, it kind of works because we're going to use blacks and purples and stuff to make it look all creepy and stuff. So all the ideas that have been working on this for the past 1 or 2 weeks are going to make this look nothing like what it looks like now, and it's going to look super sick. Oh my god. It took stuff with it. There's stuff on the thing. So that is interesting. This thing How did this thing get air? Well, I mean, it comes from a time when air wasn't really a thing back then. People didn't really use air, apparently. This is a really, really interesting case. It's really solid. Like, this is solid. We've got a 3.5-inch disk drive. We've got a 5.25-inch disk drive. This is a CD drive. Some of y'all people don't know what that is, too. Oh my God. So the 3.5-inch disk drive had an actual disc, not like a CD, an actual disc. It looks like that. This is called an IDE ribbon. These had not been used in a long time, but basically this is what SATA was. And the power, the power for all this came from Molex. So that's, I mean, Molex is really, really old, which is why nobody uses Molex anymore. So this is about 2 inches wider than a regular ATX motherboard. And just from looking at this, I think he's gonna be able to fit a late gen GPU in it. This will be interesting. I think once we get in the workshop, I'll have a better sense as to where everything's gonna go. But all this, all this is coming out, and I'm gonna do my best to make it so that you can fit modern fans in it. The rear fan is the only thing that I'm a little bit sketchy about. It's got what looks to be an 80mm fan. It might be a 92. We'll see what we can do about that. At any rate, this is gonna be, I was gonna say that it's gonna be a hell of a sleeper, but it's not going to be. It's gonna look sleek as all hell. We're gonna take this old frickin' thing and we're gonna exhibit this thing. Oh God, that's a really old reference too. Oh, cables. No, cables are falling. Oh no, cables are falling. Kiss. We have a lot of stuff going on. We actually finished another build. So it's been a little over a week since we even touched this thing. So I'm a little forgetful as to what's in here again. Oh, this came in the mail. One of the things that I had in mind was since this case doesn't have a USB port at all, one of the things that I was thinking about was putting some in, but I don't want to use the front panel because I want to make this about airflow. So what I'm going to do is, this came in the mail. This would go in the 3.5-inch dry bay right here, but I'm not going to do that. What I want to do is have it sort of in here, but kind of on an angle. So it's not going to be here. It's going to be like up here. So I want to have it kind of on an angle. And so just cuz. We're sort of changing up tactics a little bit because what I was going to do was keep it all in one piece, do what I was going to do to it, then take it all down and do other stuff to it, but I'm not going to do that. Because what I want to do is I want to get everything out of here, do what I'm going to do to the actual chassis. Then while it will be a little bit more time consuming, first of all, we have to paint this black. We can do that with it taken apart. So, but a little bit more of a time consuming thing, we're going to put all of it back together and then do what I was going to do to it. It'll use up a little bit more time, but really, I mean, it's spring here, so this could end up being a month-long thing because of all the frickin' rain we're getting. First thing we gotta do is get everything out of here, take it all down, and have a little fun. Am I bleeding?
You're fine.
Dude, this like stuff right here. try not to kill myself with this one. Holy freaking frack. You don't really have to be too gentle with the tick in here. Oh! It's screwed on. This piece is plastic.
This computer was like insulated.
This computer was made for like nuclear blasts. I mean, this thing just, it's heavy.
How did it even get air?
Yeah, that wasn't really a concern back then. There is this, and that's it. Okay. Now we've got all that to play with. This is really frickin' dusty. So we're gonna, once we get this thing apart, we're gonna have to do some serious cleaning. Like, stereo cleaning. These screws are rusting. Actually, like, now that I'm thinking about it, completely irrelevant, because we're taking off the drive bay entirely, and we're gonna be cutting this out. Why? Air. And then another thing I thought about doing was cutting. We're gonna leave all this, but I'm also gonna try and like very carefully cut slits in the front, and then I'm gonna cover the back of it with that sort of screen stuff that we bought for Stronghold. And I'll just tape it all in there, and then we'll put the badge on it. Airflow achieved. We might be able to get a 240 in this space alone. Oh yeah. So I mean, that'll be neat. You might be able to fit a current gen GPU in here, because this goes just about to there, and then a fan would go in there. We're not going to be able to put it up here. Well, no, we're not going to be able to, because I'd have to find a way to make air for all this, and I'm not going to do that. But you can put it down here, or ideally, you'd want to put it down like this, so that all the water is flowing to the inlet and outlet. And holy crap, you're going to have some stuff going on. Ah, Molex. You know what we have to do first? Nope.
What are power supplies up to these days?
You notice that, huh?
Kind of hard not to.
Yeah, they go up to about 2,000 watts these days. This is like a super old... I bet it still works, actually. You know what we ought to do?
Turn it on.
We ought to see if we can turn it on. Let's do that. I'm kind of giddy.
It's gonna blow up, you guys.
Hmm?
What?
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 Is it in the off position right now?
It's... There's no... No. This doesn't have an off position.
Oh!
And the light's on.
Should turn it so we can see it.
Look at that.
Wow.
I know. There's not even any RAM in it. I don't have to be too kind to it, but I don't want to ruin this stuff, because like making a retro machine out of this would actually be kind of fun. This isn't even... I'm pretty sure this is like... It's not DDR2. It's probably just DDR. And if it... Oh, look at that. That is dust.
Wait for it. Oh, wow.
Oh, here's another issue. We have to cut around here in order to fit modern power supplies. So we actually have to cut a section out. Unless they want to put like an SFX power supply in, which is about... It's about that. It's just much smaller. And you could do this. You could do that and still put in a genuine power supply or a genuine GPU in. But we're not going to do that. We're actually going to cut this out. The only thing about this would be having custom cables made. The cable problem is a minute issue. It's one that can be solved with cutting and custom cables, which are easy. You can also get cable mod cables that are shorter. But the easiest thing will be to cut cut here, right? And then just have the cables run down just a tad and a little bit that way. And so that way you'll have the motherboard cable come out here.
Do people do cables like you do them? Is this actually going to be a thing for whoever?
Who fucking knows?
puts-
Oh, the cool thing about this case too is since the power supply is so much higher, I can cut here, let the motherboard cable come down here. The CPU, I can cut another hole right here. Right here for the CPU cable or cables. And there's tons of room. So like the problem that we had with Stronghold, this is never going to have. Because there's tons of room with, you know, without this fan, there is tons of room above where the motherboard's going to sit. Okay, so here's one of the 550s that we've used for some other build. And my one concern was that, you know, if maybe older motherboards with the I/O, but no, the I/O is in exactly the same place as it was 20 years ago. So this is a non-issue, which means that if you use a 16 or 12 or a 16 pin or just an 8 pin, the cable is going to come out perfectly. Ta-da!